You're doing everything right. You've been on your manifestation game. You've been in the state. You say your affirmations. You've been doing it all. And then something terrible pops up in the 3D. Something completely opposite of what you're manifesting. Now what? Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you are all doing fabulous. I hope you are all choosing to be the versions of self that have exactly what it is that you're manifesting. I hope you are. If you're new here, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and I am probably the most sassiest manifestation coach. Let me say the popular phrase, I'm your favorite sassy manifestation coach. Let's just be real. Sammy said that first, okay? Sammy said it first. Come on. You know, just saying. Anyway, yeah, I'm like this all the time. I am sassy. I like to make manifestation fun, and I like getting what I want. So if you're like me, and you think you and I could be friends, because I think we could, I would appreciate if you would subscribe and come back and see me, please. I want you to know that today's video is going to have the most amazing background noises of my dishwasher and my dog snoring. She's right here. Just saying. Okay. Today, we're going to talk about, wait a minute, I didn't even do an intro. If you need help figuring out what's going on between you and your manifestation, please feel free to email me at manifestingwithkimberly@gmail.com. All of my coaching options are in the drop box below. They're in the screens that just went by, okay? Any way to connect with me, including my 2 channel memberships. Editing Kim here. 3 channel memberships. 3. All of that is in the drop box below. Yes, I have 2 channel memberships, which means I go live with my channel members twice a week, every single week. Just saying. Okay. So, the topic of today's video is when, holy balls, you're on your game. You've been actively making that decision to be your new self. If you're new and you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, be new self, all I mean by that, and this is my way of describing getting into the wish fulfilled, becoming the version of yourself, becoming the you that has exactly what it is you're manifesting. It's changing your identity. It's becoming new, a new version of self, a brand new you, the you who is satisfied, the you that is happy and full of joy and absolutely loving your life. You're fulfilled in every single area of life. That's new self. That's what I call new self. So if you've been on it, you've been doing your manifestation routines, right? We all have our own favorite techniques to do. And you know you've been committed to it. You've been happy doing it. You know you've been looking at the 3D as, I know this is the unfolding. I know I'm going to get what I want. I know I'm becoming new self. I know I am. And then the 3D flips you some nasty business. Something unfavorable pops up. I'm going to use the most common and the most favorited, the most requested SP examples, okay? So let's say you're manifesting a specific person, and let's say that you have already had some kind of intermingling with this person. So it's someone that you know, okay? Let's say that you're manifesting back an ex. And again, we don't have to limit it to just someone who's manifesting an ex, but it's going to help with the example. And let's say you've been on your game and you suddenly find out that SP has moved in with a third party. a third party that, implies your SP's in another relationship. Let's say that dirty 3D has thrown you for a loop and given you something shitty. First of all, as I always say, if you are experiencing some feelings and emotions versus that circumstance, that's okay. Feelings are always valid. I cannot say that enough. Meaning, it's okay that you're not exactly happy that circumstance is currently in your 3D. You never have to pretend to be okay with things that have hurt your feelings or whatever feeling or emotion you're having, okay? Your feelings are valid. But let me promise you that just because an opposite circumstance has popped up in your 3D, that is never manifestation failure. It is never an indicator that you've done something wrong or you haven't been doing your game good enough, your manifestation game. It never means that. Please understand that. Now, for one, I'm just going to say this just for those of you that believe a purge happens. I am someone that does not believe that we experience purges. I just don't. I used to believe we did. When I let go of that, I stopped experiencing purges. I'm just going to put that out there. But I know some of you still believe that you do have purges, and that's okay, right? This is not a one-size-fits-all journey. It's important to know that. You don't gotta agree with every single thing I say. So, number one, you could. If you're the person that believes in purges, you could simply just know that that's all it is. It's a purge. It's a purge of your old self, a purge of your old limiting beliefs. It's a manifestation of old self. We can look at it like that, okay? But for whatever you believe, if you're someone who believes in purges and maybe you're someone who doesn't, what we know for sure that in this moment, how you are perceiving 3D reality is telling you what state you're in. It's telling you who you are. It's telling you who you are identifying as. So what do I mean by that? I mean, if you are seeing the circumstance of your specific person moving in with third party, if you're seeing that and you're upset and you're frustrated, maybe hurt, and you're seeing it as, oh my God, how did this manifest? Now what am I going to do? This is going to make this even harder, blah, blah, blah. That's telling you who you are in this moment. And I'm not sharing that with you to hurt your feelings or chastise you. I'm just saying, see? Do you see how you're perceiving reality? If something upsets you in the 3D, it is because it is resonating with a belief. So in other words, the state of consciousness that you are currently in, or another way of saying that is the version of yourself that you're currently embodying, identifying with. If you are seeing it as in any way in the way or an obstacle to your manifestation, that's who you're being. So therefore, a belief within the state you're embodying, the version of self, is still limited. It's still alive. So we could see, and granted, this is just an example, so it's not a for sure, meaning we could look at SP moving in with third party as a not chosen reflection. As in, I wasn't the one chosen. SP chose third party, moving in with third party. That could easily be seen as the reflection of the limited belief, I am not chosen, which in my personal experience, not chosen and not a priority is connected to not good enough. So the very good indicator that possibly you have the limited belief of not good enough. Now I know Your logical mind probably just said, well, what the hell? I've been working on that. I've been choosing to be the version of self who no longer believes he or she is not chosen or he or she is not good enough. I've been working on that. So what? This means that it hasn't worked? I still don't believe I'm good enough? No. It means you have entered a state where that belief is alive. There are infinite versions of you, therefore infinite states. It's quite possible that that one belief, not good enough, might show up in another out of the infinite states. This doesn't mean that the work you've been doing, and I'm using that term work loosely, right? It doesn't mean that your daily decision to begin identifying as the version of yourself that has the relationship with that specific person, all of that work has been thrown out the window. It doesn't mean all of that work has failed. It simply means your state shifted. And on my channel, my response to a state shift is, if it's not the state you want to be in, return to your decision. Return to your decision to be the version of yourself that has the manifestation. Mic drop, period. Return. You always want to be honest with yourself in how you're feeling and what you're thinking regarding your 3D and what you're manifesting and what you're thinking and believing about yourself. All of that matters. So if right now in this moment you're perceiving that shitty circumstance as an obstacle, there is another indicator. Hi, I'm in the state of consciousness that believes things can get in the way. If you look at it as manifestation failure, okay, you're in the state of a version of yourself that believes that manifestation can fail. And listen, your possible limited belief that manifesting doesn't work isn't real. You doubt it. That could be a reflection of that as well. But guess what? It's just because you're in that state. Any shit circumstance in the 3D sincerely means shit. Nothing, no one can get in the way of your manifestation. But if you believe that someone or something can, your 3D has to fulfill its job, which is to reflect who you are. So therefore, you will experience things, circumstances that validate the belief that manifesting isn't real. You see, we are always, whether we're consciously thinking it or not, we are always identifying as a version of ourselves. Always, at every given second, we're identifying as a version of ourselves. Okay? And sometimes we think we're on our manifestation game, but sometimes we only concern ourselves to see what's going on with our inner chatter when we're doing our manifestation techniques. And then some of us spend the rest of our day going right back to our old identity, the version of ourself that doesn't have what we want, along with whatever limited beliefs you may or may not have. So, how are you currently perceiving that circumstance? Are you seeing it as there's something wrong? I've done something wrong? Are you seeing it as I'm just confused? How the hell did this show up? This makes no sense. I've been choosing new self. Good. Go back to choosing. That circumstance, whatever it is, it'll go away. It can't stop you from getting your manifestation. It doesn't matter, truthfully. Now, I know that's a common phrase we throw around in the manifestation community, that circumstances don't matter, but it's because they don't. Your logical, literal 3D thinking mind sees it as a problem because every single one of us is conditioned to see things like that, the example we've used, as, oh my God, well, I'm not going to get what I want now. They've chosen someone else. They're going to go run off into the sunset and spend the rest of their damn lives together. No, they're not. Not if you keep returning to your decision to be the version of yourself that has your relationship. Say you were manifesting money. Say you were manifesting and identifying as being a multimillionaire. Maybe that's what you're manifesting. Maybe you've been working on that, making that decision to be your new self who has multi-millions. And a really annoying bill just showed up. And you go to check your bank account and you see you're negative $20. And you know, in this moment from your logical, literal mind, how am I going to pay that if I'm already in the negative, Kim? This feels like an obstacle. This certainly does not feel like I'm a multimillionaire. I know, literally and logically, I get you. I agree with you. I know that's frustrating. But guess what? That stupid bill isn't going to stop you from being a millionaire. Neither is your negative bank account. You can accept what you're experiencing in the 3D. We don't have to pretend to like circumstances. You don't have to pretend to be happy that a bill showed up while you're trying to manifest money. But how you're perceiving that bill, how you're perceiving the negative bank balance, is telling you who you are. It's telling you what beliefs are still in here. So return to your decision. The answer to nearly, if not all, manifestation questions is return to your decision. We are committed to the new story, the new identity, the new self. Somehow, some way, you'll have the money to pay that stupid bill that showed up, and you'll have the money to get that bank balance out of the negative. And money will start coming to you from all over the place if you keep choosing your new self. Now, some of you have asked, Kim, how do I choose new self? Do I just say I'm new self? Well, to be honest, yeah, that's what I do. I've taken the time to define who my new self is. And I defined what every area of my life is going to look like, how I'm going to feel about it, how I feel when I wake up in the morning. See, I used to wake up with anxiety every single day, and it sucked. I wanted to wake up liking my life, or loving my life, I should say. I wanted to wake up knowing that I've got what I want in every single area of my life. So not only did I have to start identifying as that person, as that version of me, and for me, that's just a simple affirmation. I am new self. I am new self. And when I'm feeling a little sassy, sometimes I even talk to myself and describe what that means. That means I'm a multimillionaire. I'm in the most amazing, loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with SP's name. That's who I am. I'm the version of myself that doesn't have limited beliefs in any category of life. I've never been happier. That's who I am. I had to start identifying with that. And then from there, if circumstances popped up that I didn't exactly love, I had to remember. Because of course, my body instantly responded to them. Of course, when circumstances popped up, I may have had a response like, ugh, that stress feeling in my body, the yucky butterflies in my stomach, the tension in here. Of course, my body was in a habit. So was yours. But as you are choosing your new identity, your body is going to catch up with you. And you're going to break free from feeling stressed all the time. It's going to happen. You keep identifying as your new self. But my point is, when circumstances pop up that I don't exactly love, I don't force myself to not have a response. I allow myself, if I feel like crying over it, I allow myself to cry. I don't judge myself for maybe at first seeing that circumstance as a pain in the ass. I allow it. All right, I don't have to pretend to like this. It's okay that I'm irritated that it's here, or I'm hurt that it's here, or I'm afraid it implies something else because it's here. It's okay. I'm still going to choose to be my new self. I'm still identifying as my new self. That's who I am. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's working out for me. I don't let the 3D tell me who I am. I tell it. I'm not trying to tell you that you need to be on a manifestation technique game 24/7. I'm saying pay attention to what the inner chatter is in your mind throughout your day when you are not doing your techniques. Some of us don't even realize it, but we go right back to our original shit thinking. Life's hard, money's hard to come by. I'm afraid I'm never going to be able to manifest this loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. I'm afraid I'm going to be on this stupid manifesting an SP journey forever. And now I got to battle a third party. Now I got to deal with the fact that they're living together. So I never want to live with SP in that house or in that apartment or townhouse. I never want to have to live there. You don't have to. You don't have to do any of those things, right? You don't have to do what you don't want. You just got to worry about identifying as your new self. So it's okay if you've already reacted and responded to the circumstance. But once you've let the emotions out, go back to your decision. Because that circumstance, truthfully, isn't shit. If you just happen to have the exact example I use, your SP just moved in with 3P, guess what? Your manifestation is still working. It just appears to look like this shit circumstance is in your unfolding. It's on your bridge of incidents. It means nothing. And I'm going to tell you something just to keep it real. You're going to find as you keep choosing your new self, if you stay committed to this new identity, guess what? You're going to notice that when circumstances pop up, you might react, you might respond, but you're going to start to notice that how long it takes you to go back to your decision to be your new self anyway, that time, even though linear time is not real, we know this, but that time is going to start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And that is your evidence that you are successfully becoming new self. And I use that word becoming, not because you're not there yet. That's not what I mean. I use becoming because we shift in and out of states all day long. That's all. And as we are choosing our new self, remember, we're building new habits. We're building new habits. So return to your decision. I know it sucks to have a shit circumstance, but I'm telling you, you got nothing to worry about. You don't. Even if the circumstance you're facing seems something really serious, like a really big, permanent looking obstacle, it's not. And you are a powerful creator, manifester, because you have the power of God, universe, whatever you personally believe in. You've got that within you. That's what your beautiful heart and imagination is. So you keep returning because you've got that power working with you. You're pure, unadulterated consciousness. You're not this limited, small, physical-bodied human. You are more than that. You're just forgetting in this moment. You're forgetting. You're believing in your circumstance more. And this is the video to wake your ass back up. It's okay. We never have to pretend to like things out here. We just got to return to our decision. And I will tell you, something that helped me was a very just almost indignant response to my 3D was me voicing with a little conviction, probably with a little more anger, to be truthful. I refuse to be my old self. I refuse it. I refuse to be limited by my 3D. I refuse to accept that anything's going to get in my way. I am new self. Even if I don't feel like I'm new self, even if I don't believe it's working, I'm still choosing it anyway. I refuse to give up. And I refuse to go backwards. I am new self. And I'm allowed to have emotions. I'm allowed to respond. I just have to remember who I am. And who I am is new self. And so are you. Return. That's what I think about that circumstance. You got nothing to worry about. You don't have to like it. But just know, somehow, some way, it's still leading you to your outcome. And guess what? That's going to happen for you. You're going to get what you want. And then you're going to come back and tell me how it worked. Okay? So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.